House.
The Obama administration unveiling stricter gun regulations, including more background checks and licenses for firearm dealers at shows and over the internet.
Well, President Obama's plan has gotten backlash from gun advocates and some Republicans. He's called the gun reform common sense. Christina Muchler talked to a local firearm training instructor about the gun violence issue. Christina, what was his perspective on this issue?
Well, Tom Urbanski of Skis Firearms in Oregon tells me that this actually helps his business, and he also said that some gun advocates do support the need for more background checks.
Anybody in the business of selling firearms must get a license and conduct background checks or be subject to criminal prosecutions.
President Obama unveiled measures to tighten gun control laws Tuesday, requiring more gun sellers to get licensed and more gun buyers to undergo background checks. As a former gun seller for 25 years and a current firearm instructor, Tom Urbanski says he and other gun owners agree with the call for more background checks, although that may not necessarily solve the problem of gun violence.
Gun availability doesn't actually stop. Every time Mr. Obama says we ought to have more gun control, my business goes sky high.
In the past, Urbanski says it was easier for gun buyers to purchase a firearm at a gun show rather than at a registered dealer's store, due to the two-step process required there.
Back when I was a gun dealer, one of the most frustrating things is I had to have all this paperwork.
Now, as a firearm training academy owner, Urbanski says business has been up with each mass gun violence event that occurs, and his clientele ranges widely.
Almost 60% of the people booking classes are probably my age or older. I guess they're afraid, but quite honestly, your chances of getting the ISIS in your back door is a little bit terrible, are not going to happen.
And while he supports background checks, Urbanski's not so sure that's going to solve the issue at hand.
Any additional gun law is just superfluous. It's not going to do much. You've got 450 million guns out there with 330 million civilians.
As someone who's been in the firearm industry for decades, Urbanski sees both sides of the issue.
There are militants on both sides. There are people that don't want any guns. There's also people who are so pro-gun, you say anything about a gun law and they will get militant. There's a reasonable, I guess, median that doesn't offend both people, and background checks should be that.
President Obama issued the new regulations under executive order, and GOP lawmakers have already said that they may try to stop the implementation of the law in the future. Reporting live in the studio, Christina Muchler, WTOL 11.